Demetrius Andrade will be facing David Benavidez on November 25th, and pros are putting their predictions in for the fight. Steven Espinoza was very happy to see both fighters putting in the work to fight each other instead of waiting around for another big money fight. Steven stated, "Everybody knows the elephant in the room. Everybody wants the Canelo fight. But what I respect about these two men in this fight is they're not waiting. They're not sitting at home waiting to get a phone call. They're going out and making their case, taking tough fights, taking big challenges, taking risks, because that's what this sport is all about." Canelo Alvarez thinks that this fight is about as even as it gets, and Canelo stated, "That's a really good fight, 50-50. David's brother, Jose Benavidez, definitely has confidence in his brother, and he thinks that it'll be an easy finish for him.
How do you see your brother's fight with Demetrius? Let us know. Give us a preview of what's going to happen.
Honestly, feel like my brother's going to take him out. He's going to take him out. He's going to try to, Andrade's probably try to box him, but he's a good boxer, but there's only so much boxing you can do when you get caught in those corners. You can't move, and you get caught with those punches, those body shots, those punches that are coming from all over the place. You know, everyone has a game plan until they get hit, and I feel like that's what's going to happen now. Brother's just, he's just too fast for that weight, dude. It's too fast. Too big. I mean, he's just gonna take him out.
Andre Rosier seems to think that Demetrius might need to work harder to make sure he doesn't get overwhelmed by David's pressure, and Andre stated, "Usually, heat will stop an avalanche. Heat will stop it, and he's gonna be presented with lots of speed. And we all know speed becomes friction. Friction becomes heat. Heat becomes the thing that burns you, and that's what's gonna take place in the ring." Well, I'm not looking for him to look for a stoppage. I'm looking for Boo Boo to do what he does best. Control the environment, fast hands, slick moves, uncanny timing. These things are all going to come into play, and this is the one we've all been waiting for. Stephen Edwards thinks that Demetrius has a great game plan for David, though, and he sees it being a closer fight. Stephen stated, 35 is when you start to look for a decline in athletes in general, but I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence that he slipped, to be honest, but we haven't seen him against a certain level of guy. It's not like he's been getting dropped, earning split decisions, and scraping by guys he should beat. The results of his fights have always been the same results that he's getting now. So Andrade could conceivably get out to a good lead before David starts to come on, and consistency at this level is a true maker for greatness. We have to see how David is going to perform after some video has been out of him getting outboxed in the first half of the fight against Caleb Plant. Tim Bradley thinks that David is the one who needs to work harder against Demetrius, though.
I see a lot of opportunities where I think a guy with the smarts of Andrade can make him pay. Andrade is also a left-hander. I mean, that brings a lot more that Benavidez has to deal with in the ring. We haven't seen Benavidez with a whole lot of left-handers. You know, and Benavidez, I think his biggest issue in this fight is going to be his footwork. I feel that he has terrible footwork. You know, he squares up often. And I think a fighter with Andrade's skill set and experience, I think he's going to be able to expose that, come forward, pick his spots wisely, move, be elusive with his defense as well, make this guy miss. And I think we're going to have to see a better version of Benavidez if he's going to pull off this win. He's going to have to be the best that he's ever fought, that we've ever seen him in the boxing ring, because I'm telling you right now, man, do not count out Andrade, man. He's a sneaky fighter, good, well-schooled boxer, and he has what it takes to outbox Benavidez.
Paulie Malignaggi thinks that David will end the fight fairly quickly, and Paulie stated, "You got the balls to tell him that nobody knows you when you're fighting guys that nobody knows. Don't play that game here. Andrade is definitely one of the tragic stories of boxing. I don't know what his result will be. I don't think he's going to beat Benavidez. I think he's actually going to start out really well and possibly get stopped in a fight that he might be ahead and get stopped. I see Benavidez closing very strong after an Andrade early good start. Again, at 35 and 36, it's a lot more difficult to stay strong down the stretch. Also, you're not in your prime." Bozienis thinks that Demetrius needs to make his stand fairly early in the fight.
I think that's a good fight, man. I think that's a good fight, man. I say 50-50, you know what I mean? I say 50-50 with that fight. Because what you call him is Boo Boo is real unorthodox, man. He's style, you know what I mean? And he throws punches from different angles, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's hard to protect yourself from that. And then you got a pressure fighter like Benavidez. So I think that's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. You know what I mean?
When do you have to stand your ground and get your respect from David Benavidez in a fight?
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Sit down and start and plant them shots, but you still move, make your little angles. You know what I mean? You can still fight inside and turn it and frustrate him. You got to frustrate him. You know what I mean?
Do you start early or do you like middle rounds to when he gets tired? Like when do you get your respect?
You got to start. You got to start early. Man. You got to let them know that you're here. You got to start early, man.
Eddie Hearn seems to think that David will be perfectly fine against Demetrius, and Eddie stated, Saunders has always liked the Andrade fight. I think that Benavidez will beat him if and when they fight, but we'll see what happens in that fight. Caleb Plant? There are loads of fights out there for Saunders. Brian McIntyre definitely thinks that this will be a close fight, and he doesn't think that either fighter should overlook the other one.
Man, they overlooking Boo Boo, man. They overlooking him, man. That man is dangerous. He's dangerous. And he got a skill set out this world, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't been able to display that talent, because of where he started his career at over there. I think he was over there with Star Boxing. And they got the limited platform as far as when they fighters can showcase their talent or they get certain type of fights, but for being knowing Boo Boo from the amateurs, from the kid to now, oh man, they in for a rude awakening.
That's what I think too.
They in for a rude awakening.
Same thing.
Man, that dude is nice, man. He is nice. He's nice. Now I don't take nothing away from Benavidez, man. He worked his off to get to where he at, and being stripped of his title because he partied a little bit. So what? Who gives a fuck? That's what boxers do sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Don't strip me, man, because nigga, I've been partying. I got a few over here. I work for that title, man. Don't take it away from me because I made a bad choice and shit. Take it away from me because I lost it in the ring. Yeah. But I know him and his dad and their family over there, and they prideful, man. They very prideful, and he gonna bring the thunder.
Demetrius Andrade is ready to prove himself to the world, and he doesn't want to let this opportunity slip by. Demetrius stated, I have a lot of strengths. With my athletic ability and my preparation, I can beat anyone. This has really been a great camp. We've gotten through the ups and downs, and we've done everything we need to do to get the victory in this matchup. I've fought every style there is today. I just have to go in there, find his weakness, and figure out what's going to work. I'm going to step forward with my best foot, and I expect David to do the same. Even though his feet are not as great as mine, we'll be having fun in there. I've waited my whole career for this. With what we both have inside of us, it's gonna make it a great fight. I don't really know his strengths until I get in there, but from watching him, he likes to overwhelm his opponents. That's really all I see. November 25th, tune in and I'm gonna expose his weaknesses. This is the best fighting the best. It's a great moment. The timing couldn't be any better. It's a fight that makes all the sense in the world right now. Robert Garcia sees David being able to break Andrade down though, and he thinks that the fans are going to see a very technical battle in the ring.
Boo Boo.
Yes.
Both of them are very good. Break down the fight.
I think Boo Boo's gonna go out there and do good the first few rounds. Gonna give Benavidez good half of the fight, but eventually Benavidez is gonna break him down and stop him.
Like the Plant fight, something like that.
Huh?
Like Caleb Plant.
Kind of like that, yeah. But Boo Boo's very fast, very
slick,
very technical fighter, very slick. So it'll be a little awkward the first few rounds, but he hasn't fought a long time, and he's smaller. I think Benavidez stops him late, but Boo Boo can fight. He's got skills. I think Boo Boo's got more skills than most of the guys Benavidez has ever fought.
So it's a big test for Benavidez.
Yes, but he's a lot smaller also, so I think Benavidez breaks him down and stops him late.
David Benavidez seems to think that he's going to give Demetrius a showcase of skill, and he thinks he'll just be too much for him to handle. David stated, "I think he's in even more danger because I'm not wasting energy on a beef. When you have a beef, it's just bullshit because you're going to fight anyways. It makes you go into the ring with certain emotions where sometimes you want to hit him with one big shot. I know he's a great fighter, but I feel that once I'm not in that cloud of hate in my head, I can really go to work on combinations and have fun. Let my combinations free, go freely, and just be who I am. I think in my last fight against Caleb Plant, I kind of got caught in that mode where I was trying to take his head off in the first couple of rounds. But once it got to the 6th round, I started letting my hands go. It was a completely different fight." Both fighters are fighting for a big fight against Canelo Alvarez, but they plan on leaving it all in the ring. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.